everybody, welcome back today to my channel. My name's Marcy and I'm delighted to be hanging out with you. Today we're back with another one of Rachel's challenges. This is the one from week 4 and it's called Hinged Pockets. And today is a very special day because I actually have a prototype for you. That's more by accident than design. I sat down yesterday. I needed to record this video yesterday actually, but I kind of got carried away doing my room cleanup and stuff, and then when I sat down to try to do the video, I just could not get any ideas together. So I was able to just kind of put 3 together, but boy, it took me forever, and that's not the kind of video that you want to watch. So that means we have prototypes today. So what these are is just a little pocket that you make out of book pages, and you make it so it's got a little hinge, and it hinges onto a pocket in a journal. See? Or onto a page in a journal, I mean. So this part you just glue down, and then it flips open, and depending on how you do it, you can add, I'm all thumbs here today, depending on how you do it, you can add more writing space here or make it look a page that is meant for writing space. It can just kind of dress it up, make it look interesting. And then there are several variations. Rachel saw it on Carol Law's channel, and Carol did a couple different things differently from Rachel. I'm putting Rachel's hashtag below, which you can click on and then see all the videos that come up. Make sure it's the one from 2023 and it says week 4, but I will also link down in the description box Carol Law's video, because it goes into a little bit of a different way that she sets them up. And I mean, they essentially do the same thing, but she just had some different ideas, and since she was the one that Rachel was piggybacking off of, I think it's valuable to see both, because I'm obviously not going to cover all the options in this video today. I'm just demoing here on one of these journals. It's from my shop. It is still sitting in there, but I had actually been throwing a bunch of random pages together and had them set aside as kind of maybe the start of a journal, and now I can't find it. So I don't know if I took it apart or if I just shoved it somewhere, which is not typically like me. I don't generally just pick stuff up and throw it wherever, but apparently either I disassembled it or did that, so I can't find it. So I brought over the one from the shop. Let's go ahead and get started on these then. And when we get back after the intro, I'll show you some options for different kinds of papers to use and stuff. All right, talk to you in a second. Well, I have to say, it is really nice to have my room cleaned up. That is truly enjoyable. But I think what I did was just ended up giving myself too many choices of things to play with yesterday, and so I don't know, my brain just wasn't working, or maybe my subconscious just said, you really need to clean up more than you need to do a video right now. I don't know, but you know, sometimes you can create and sometimes you can't. So one of the things I did want to use for sure are some of my hymn pages, because I have a bajillion of them. So going to use those. Other options, remember I was showing you these last week for one of her other projects, whether it was dictionary or like a gardening book. Here's another page from a gardening book that's the white sheets, or pictures, you know, beautiful pictures from books and things. Here's one, this was actually one I do want to use today. This is from an old Martha Stewart book, but look at that. So that one's definitely a yes. Let's put that one down there. I'll probably do a one from the plant. I know I wanted to do a couple of music. I might use this one because I think when I fold it, I think that will turn out okay. You'll see as I get going here what how they look, because what I'm wanting to avoid is making them not too narrow on the page. Here, let's see, this was, yeah, I wanted to use that one. So I just really like that view. And then I had a couple of sheets of scrapbook paper I pulled out. I got a new scrapbook pad from Hobby Lobby. It's the Theodosia Square. And I really love the look of the papers in here. So I'll just, you know, I just gotta have all these beautiful papers that may or may not get used today. Let's see, did I get me him in there? It's only a couple. So again, it's a very fast project. So what you do is you take your page and you fold a hinge. This is the part that's going to glue down to your page in your journal. And then you fold the other side over. And that's it. You're going to glue here and glue here, close it up, punch a notch, and be done. It's that simple. Now, these pages here, all of these sheets that I am using are pretty heavy duty. The scrapbook paper may not be as sturdy as I'm hoping for, so I will show you how to reinforce the edges if you need to as I go. Let's see, I surrender all, so let's do that one on the outside. Oops. And then we'll do some variations. But the quickest way, truly, is just to fold up all the ones that you're wanting to glue together, and then, or all the pages, you know, that you're wanting to use. And then do the gluing and then the decorating. I have to say, I have been really enjoying putting these things together relatively quickly. Let's see, what I'm looking for is, you know, how much music is there on each side. I'm wanting those sides that have more music rather than words. Just enjoying the speed of how fast Rachel's projects will go. How quickly you can put them together, how many you can assemble, and you don't really have to decorate them all in advance. We'll get them glued up and then we might decorate one or two. Okay, so on this page, what I'm wanting to do, there's Martha. What I thought is that when I fold it in half here, it might not be quite as wide as what I would like. And so I thought, since this came out of the center of the book, I would use this here where it's already got the crease, and I would trim it on this side, and that would be the flap. That was my thought. And so we're gonna do that. One thing about Martha's books is that she just has the most beautiful pictures in all of them. So I'm going to trim off all the white. This particular book was about gardening through the year. I don't know how that woman has so much energy to do all the things she does. It just boggles my mind. You could tell she spent lots of time in her garden, but then she also has all the other parts of her life that she does. So now we have this. I'm going to scoot these out of the way. Look at that pretty. Okay, and I'm going to end up having to reinforce this with something because obviously there's a split there. So I'm feeling really proud of myself because I actually bought washi tape. This is not a product that I typically use. I don't understand it. I mean, it just seems so uncertain to me. The certainty of washi tape. But I was at Tuesday morning, was it last week? I think so, yeah. And just looking around, I needed to just get out of the house and move around a little bit. And so that's what I did. And I found some washi tape. All that to say, partly why I don't buy a lot of washi tape is, first of all, it's stupid expensive, or it was for a while. But secondly, what generally happens is I look in those packs, and especially like this one had a pack of 8, a pack of 8. And what happens is I might like 1 or 2, but I don't like the other 6. And so to invest in a whole thing of washi tape that, first of all, is not very certain, you know, it doesn't stay. I'm going to let this overlap to the other side just so it really helps with that. It doesn't stay in place, so of course we're all reinforcing it with extra glue to make sure our washi tape lasts. But the other thing is just like to pay that much money to only like 1 or 2 of the washies in there just seems outrageous to me. So this particular one was originally like $11, and yeah, I got it for $4.39. But I also happen to like, there's probably really only one that I wouldn't use eventually, and I really like 4 or 5 of them in there, so that was a good investment for me. All right, so now that when you fold this over, you want to come up against the crease, but just leave a little space. Here's the crease right along the edge, and here's the edge of my page, if that helps. You can see that little bit of white, so what's that, about a 1/16 of an inch or something? Not very much, but enough so that it doesn't get in the way when you're trying to use the flap or as the hinge. This is a hinge. So what I have not been doing is punching the holes, so I guess I'll just do all the folding first and then go back and punch holes. Okay, so there's that one. I brought this one over. This is from a Christmas book. It's got crafts. And I just thought that all of the little drawings and things might be interesting. I just have to decide which one I like better, if there is one that I like better. I think I like the side that had all of this. So I'm going to make our hinge, which they very nicely gave me a red line to follow. If you have trouble folding straight, I'm not saying I always do fold straight, but if you have trouble with it, then use your scoreboard to get yourself a nice crease that you can fold up. There you go. There's that. And this is probably too tall. Oh, maybe not. Oh wow, that would be a nice tall one though, wouldn't it? So it fits on this piece of paper, on this sheet, and this is just an 8.5 by 11, I think. Is that right? I'm just saying stuff. I don't know. No, I had to trim that one down. So how tall is this one? That one's 9.5 by 12. Okay, so that was a 12 by 12. So I did trim it down a bit and then folded it in half. So this is 6 wide, but anyway. Which means I probably, for your general size journal, do want to trim this down a little bit. So what I will do is make my hinge a little deeper, this part, and then make my fold. I'll have to redo the fold. Let's see, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's about right. And then we're gonna have to tear off the top and the bottom. And since I want nice clean edges, I'm gonna use my trimmer really fast. So now, height-wise, come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Good, good. So that'll fit better on in your basic 9 by 6 journal, essentially. Okay, there's that one. Let's do this one. What I find easier than folding the hinge first is to fold this over, but then you can't make sure that that doesn't, it's harder to make sure that that doesn't line up. And I think I'd like the hinge where there's more of this writing here and it's darker so that the actual pocket has more of the pretty picture. That's a lot of pre-thinking, I know. Okay, and how long is that one? That one is a little over 8, so I'm going to trim it. I didn't formally measure it, but now it's a little bit under 8, so that ought to be fine. And I really liked this one. So I'm going to make this plain spot down here, the hinge. This is just really, honestly, arbitrary. You don't really have to worry too much about how wide or narrow your hinge piece is, your hinge flap. You just really do want to make sure that this part here is going to fit on basically an 8.5 by 11 once it's folded in here, because like I said, that's the standard size. I do like the torn edge on this, so I want to tear that off so we keep it, but it's a little tall. Kind of reminds me of like when you do the portfolio, the little pouch style envelopes, because all this is an envelope so far. It's just that we're going to glue it on two sides and make the opening on one end. But if I were to glue it here and here, it would now become an envelope. So it's the same fold, just has a different purpose. Okay, with this one, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one, and just basically, here's the crease in between the two pages, and I would like to take off of this other page here off to the side so that it makes my hinge automatically, but then it gives me more to fold going this way. And this is another one. I would probably reinforce it because it doesn't look very, I think it's been folded a lot and the book is older, so I think over time that would wear down. She just has the most gorgeous illustrations in all of her books, you know? You can always, if you see a Martha Stewart, whatever, craft book or home decorating or whatever kind of book in the thrift stores, just thumb through it, but almost all the time, before you buy it, thumb through it before you buy it, but you're pretty much guaranteed some really beautiful pictures and pages that you can use in your journals, because, you know, she decorates them up so nicely. Good photography, really beautiful arrangements. So it's kind of a slam dunk as to, you know, when you see those books, you know you're going to have pretty pages you can use. Now I did that, but I do have to trim this down. So I'm going to take a little off the bottom underneath here, underneath the vase, and a little bit of the background up here so that it will be the right size. Because right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 inches. So I do need to take a good couple of inches off. I'm going to save that strip because it's pretty and it would be nice in like a collage or a cluster. I don't normally save all those, but that one's just too pretty to throw away. Okay, so there's that one. Here's what we've got. Isn't that pretty? So it's just when you flip this pocket, you've got pretty on both sides. Okay, let's do a couple of these scrapbook papers, which means I have to decide. Now this is thinner, so this is where I'm going to show you. Oh, and that did not rip out straight. Oh, that's so sad. Look at that. That means there's a piece of that left in my book. Well, that's a bummer. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to reinforce. She also did her pockets, some of them, so they had a little bit of extra space with a gusset. And I can show you how to do that, or make a wider flap here, so that when you put it in on the page, you can make a pocket out of it, which is very cool. But what I'm wanting to do first is figure out the height on all of these and which direction I want it to go. Most of these are non-directional, but if you do have a directional pattern on yours, then you want to make sure that it's going the same way. They're all, you know, that it's going the right way so that when you fold it up this way and trim, you're not going to miss your pattern. I like this one too. Okay, so I'm going to be a little lazy or efficient, you decide. And I'm going to just run all of these through the trimmer together so I can make one cut. And I'm going to make them about 7.5 inches tall. Golly, and then look, I have all these pretty scraps. Nice. Well, that will be very helpful in a minute. Okay. So one of the things that Rachel did was that she made this flap, when she folded it up, she made it deeper. Okay, so we're going to do that. And I'll show you here in a second. Here's 2.5 inches deep, give or take. I'll show you here in a second how that's going to look. Here's where I'm talking about you can use your scoreboard. But first we want to kind of reinforce this edge where things are going to get pulled in and out of this pocket. And the easiest way is just to fold this down a bit. But if you don't want to sacrifice any of the space, just glue a strip of paper back here or run some washi tape or whatever back here. We're just folding it over because I'm sure I have more than enough. And last time I used glue stick and then these guys didn't stick. So that was disappointing. There's that. And then we're just gonna fold this over this way, making sure I can see my hinge, see my crease where I'm to fold to. This is the easier one to tell how much space is being left after I fold it because you can see the white there. Now I did watch somebody else, I forget who, she doesn't like that white showing, so she just went over it with her inker, because then when you fold this down, it's gonna look not as stark white on the page once you've glued this down. Okay, so the way this is gonna work is, I could almost glue one of these in there, couldn't I? This is going to come around and still be your flap, right, on that side of the page. But because it's deeper, you can make it into a tuck spot on that side. So that's what we're gonna do with that. So first I'm using the edge of my ruler to fold this, but first we're gonna reinforce the edge that folds down. And we're gonna fold it up a couple inches, give or take. It's such a wonderfully unstructured project, you know. I have been putting all these flaps on the left, or a good portion of them, so I need to do one with the flap on the right. I'll focus on that for the next one. If your pattern is non-directional, then you can do that easier, because if you wanted it here, but then you decided, no, I would rather have the flap on that side, you could just turn it around. But when your pattern's directional like this, that doesn't work. So it would work with some of the music ones. Okay, so if I want my flap, let's think about this. So if I want my flap on this side, I need to fold this end. Yeah, so folding from the left, and again, just folding it up over the edge of my ruler so it's somewhat straight. I get a nice straight crease here. Well, okay, if I don't move the ruler, I get a nice straight crease. Let's see, what did I do? Obviously, obviously I'm impaired. There we go, better. Almost everybody I watched had trouble folding this part straight, so I'm in good company. Let's wipe. This is very wet. Okay, let me find a dry one. There we go. Wipe up the glue that's smooshed out. Okay, so now we're gonna fold this up. And then we're gonna give it some ink so we don't have a, oops, maybe we will. I'm just using the ink that's already on my dauber, so, and I apologize if that's shaking the camera. Hopefully image stabilization will take care of that. There we go. And then we'll scoot this over to the edge. Not right up against it, but leaving a little space so that the flap will be fine. There we go. Don't want to interfere with the flap. And then this one, the same thing. So I want the flap on this side. And this time I'll pay better attention to how to fold that over. I could have also reinforced the edge along the top here. I didn't think about that until just now. I haven't glued anybody together, so we can still do that before we glue them shut. Okay, that one went a little crooked as well. Oh gosh, like a lot crooked. Oh well, say la vie. Okay, so if we want to reinforce that top edge, you do the same thing. Just fold it in and glue it down. Lots of crooked folding happening here. Okay, so because I already folded that in, I'm gonna cut out that. Will that work? Yeah, that's just gonna get folded down. Okay, yep, see? Now we'll have a reinforced edge along the top and a reinforced edge there. One more, and then we'll glue these guys up. Time is going very rapidly. I swear, I watch everybody on the channel and then on their channels, and they just seem like they're going so slowly, and yet they get it all done in plenty of time. And I sit here and I'm hurrying, and then I get fumble fingered, and then I seem to run out of time. I think my time runs at a different rate than other people's. That's what I'm going with. Somehow physics does not apply to my time zone. The natural laws. Okay, so we're gonna go with a smaller flap on this one, a narrower flap for the hinge here. And that's because I wanted to show you how she made a gusset. She just folded in the opposite corner, or the opposite edge as well. And then when she brought it over here, what that does is when you glue it down, you have a little extra space. Little extra space in your pocket. Now, a true gusset, you would fold up the bottom as well. You'd be making like those coin envelopes like we made the other day, the tall, narrow envelope. That's really all this is. But this just helps so that when you're putting things in and out of the pocket, you just have a little extra space there. Okay, so let's start gluing. The other thing you want to do here is snip these edges a bit. So the reason we snip that is so that these edges don't get in the way when you're trying to slide in and out of the pocket again. Okay, so very quickly, gluing. We need some along the bottom, whatever your bottom edge is, and your side that's gonna fold over. So I hope that I have explained this clearly. To be honest, I'm not sure. I have no idea. I hope these directions are making sense. There we go. Now see, that's not very straight, so I'm going to trim it really fast. There we go. Nothing like a good straight bottom edge, you know, to make your life happy. So where's my punch? Now you can use any size of punch. Sometimes I use ovals, but I brought over a little bit bigger circle punch. This one's a 1.5 inch punch. And so we're just gonna punch our thumb notches as we go. Let's see, that's just a regular hinge, so I don't need to punch that. Ta-da, look at that. 1. Next. So gluing along the side, that's going to bump up against the hinge. Gluing along the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be pretty close, pretty good. Good enough is good enough. That's what the Fly Lady says. You know, when she's talking about her cleaning routines, good enough is good enough. I'm like, you know what? You're right. There's that. And then since this is going to fold around the page and make that little tuck spot, we're going to punch that one in the middle as well. There we go. There's 2. Okay, so now we're gonna reinforce our top edge. Like I said, you don't have to, but if this is gonna get use over time, you kind of want it to endure. So I just think it makes good sense. And again, because I didn't fold that down before I did the flap, like we did on this one, but I didn't do it on here. I'm just gonna trim this corner here so it lays nicely. Otherwise you just get a lot of that bulk. Okay, so that's our top edge. I'm just using an old napkin. I have all these extra napkins. They're not used, they're just hanging out in my drawer, because sometimes, like if maybe I go to Subway and get a sandwich or something, and then I sit up here in my craft room to eat for a minute, I have all these napkins left over. Okay. So now we're gonna glue down the edge and glue along the bottom. What are you all working on today? Have you got anything in the works, or are you just taking it easy, or I don't know. How's everybody doing? How's the snow situation? My word, it seems like, you know, certain places have certainly been hammered a lot more than other places. And even us, you know, we've had a little more snow than usual, so that's been kind of surprising. I'm gonna move my ruler. Okay, so let's try one with just washi tape reinforcement. Oh, didn't quite get it, but that'll be okay because this is getting glued down. So, and this does not need to go over that far. Good enough. It's at least reinforced in the major areas where it needs to be. And so this is the side that will bump up against the hinge. This is the bottom. There we go. And because this one's going the other way, it's good to keep your ups and downs and rights and lefts. Keep them all straight. Oh, I was going to tell you, you know how I told you that our kids, you know, they just got their house, and it took forever with the loan process, and they had been like conditionally approved, and all this time we thought they'd been actually approved. It was conditional, but then the loan company said, hey, by the way, you're approved and you can move in this weekend. And that was a week ago Wednesday, right? So they moved in last Saturday. So you're gonna see this. They'll have been in their new house not even a week yet by the time you see this. So she says, well, we got a surprise. Do you want to hear about our surprise? And I'm all, was it a good surprise or a bad surprise? She says, no, it's a pretty good surprise. So they were moving in, I think it was Sunday, and they were out, you know, organizing stuff and bringing stuff in from the car and all that. And this lady comes across the street, a little bit older lady, and she says, are you Katie? And Caitlin's all, yes. And the lady says, well, she gave her name. I don't want to tell you too much because, you know, privacy and all that. But she said, well, I'm so-and-so. I'm the one who sold you the house. So the lady who was selling her house lives across the street now. I was like, what happened? So what happened was, it's actually kind of handy because she'll be able to fill them in if they have any questions on how things work, or, you know, even just knowing the history of your house. So they're in a cul-de-sac. Their house is bumped up against an elementary school. It's really cute and kind of quiet. And so when that neighborhood was being built, there were a ton of different couples that were building in there. And so she and her husband, I just put that on the wrong, on the bottom. I should have put it on this side though. So she and her husband built the house, and he was a woodworker, so that's why they have all those really good little built-in pieces and extra shelves and things. And so they lived there for forever. Well, a number of years ago, like 10 or 11 years ago, her husband passed away kind of unexpectedly. She's not that old. And she lived there for a time. Well, all these different couples, because they had all pretty much been in the neighborhood around the same time and were building their houses together, they all knew each other. And so her husband passed away, and then the man across the street, they used to do stuff with him and his wife all the time. Well, unfortunately, he had to go through a nasty divorce, and over time, they started to date. And then eventually, she moved in across the street. And so all this time, for like the last 2 years, she's been just coming back over and taking care of things and keeping it basically clean and tidy. But she moved out a number of years ago, and then she said, well, a few months ago, I just woke up and said to myself, what are you doing? You need to move on. Your husband's gone, and why are you hanging on to this little bit of your past when you're trying to build a new life with this guy? And so she decided to put it on the market. And that's when they were looking to buy. So she lives across the street. It's just very interesting how that all worked out. But I think it's kind of cute because they have just been so excited that Sam and Katie are moving in, that they can hardly contain themselves, just how excited they are. And I went and jiggy-jaggied that edge, and now I don't know if that's really what I wanted to do, because now I can't reinforce it. So I guess I'll reinforce this one. And also, I didn't take a good look at the plants. Like, do I like these plants better than the other plant? I don't know. I'll just go with it the way it is. So anyway, they're just so thrilled to have Sam and Katie there, and watching them move in and, get the inspection. But it's going to be kind of cute because they're going to be like having little grandparents who live across the street, and, they can help keep an eye on things when Sam and Katie are out of town or what have you. But it's just quite a surprise. And I mean, she was just excited. She said, we've been so anxious to have you move in and to meet you, and we're just so excited for you, and to know that this is your first time buying a house, and you're a young couple and you want to start a family. And anyway, just the cutest thing ever. So she also gave her the lowdown on who everybody else living in the neighborhood was, and all kinds of stuff. So it was a very interesting surprise. It wasn't a bad surprise at all. Now our neighborhood, my gosh, when we moved into this house, it was a new neighborhood, and I was actually looking forward to having a lot of stable families. But what happened was a lot of the houses were bought up by investors that live in other states, and so almost half of them are rentals, which makes it really hard to get anything done in this neighborhood. And of the original homeowners that moved in around the same time as us, I think we're the only ones left. So we've been here 15 years. So I just think how sweet that is, to have a neighborhood where you can all know each other and do your neighborhood barbecues. But honestly, truthfully, I've never lived in a neighborhood like that. This one I won't reinforce because these pages are thicker. I was also going to mention you can ink around the edges if you'd like, and I did do that on my examples, but for the most part I don't care. Or you can just leave it uninked and then decide when you're putting it in a journal. The options, once again, are endless. So these are all just really nice ways to have more interesting options in your journals as well, just more. I tend to get stuck in a rut with which kinds of pockets I do and things like that. And this way I have a variety of different things to actually put in my journals. Okay, so this one and this one, these are all pretty pictures. And this one, so I'm not sure. I mean, you really don't have to decorate them in advance, other than I wanted us to practice what we learned the other day. But I would say that these would probably just need a label or something, and so I'll probably decorate them when I use them. And then these guys with all these pretty scrapbook papers, similar kind of thing. Like, I mean, how much does that really need? It's already got that and that, and you could still put a label or put a word. That one, I might add a butterfly sticker to this side. This one, you know, you could do something here. This is probably, this one I probably would like to decorate right now. But really, for the most part, when you use the pretty scrapbook papers, you don't really have to decorate those up very much either. And then, I don't know if I'm going to like that. I think I will. Once I put it in a journal and I have that raggedy edge, it'll probably be fine. So yeah, this one would be Christmas, so I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not prepared for Christmas. I might be able to do that one. So yeah, let's see if we can do a few of these. Let's start with this one because all I really want is just a butterfly sticker. That's all I really want. I want this one, I think, because it's a real soft pink. I went through all my stickers and took out the ones that were the right size for all these different projects. So once these are used up, I'll have all of those butterfly stickers used up. And like I said, I got tons of butterflies, so. I do prefer these that are the either vellum or I think sometimes they call them washi stickers. Oops, got a little wrinkle there. And then also I need to go through and stamp up some labels that I can use. So, oh, that's pretty. See, it's just the right amount of softness for this paper. And then I could put something here later, but I just don't have it right now. So there's that one. And I have flower stickers. I want, on this one, I think I want something botanical, at least on that side. And there's a big one right here. I like the colors in this and it kind of picks up that. So I could do that. And have a butterfly. I have these little things that are kind of like labels. Am I in frame? I have no idea. Oh, look at that. It's too dark. Kind of like that. This has got a little red to it, but it's so light that it kind of brings that out. And then, are you going to... See, and I'm not at all doing my 2 plus 1 more here. I'm not doing anything. 2 plus 1 more and grounded. I guess that's kind of like 2. 2. Hey, we could actually. 2. It was kind of supposed to be a square and a rectangle though. And then a roundish shape. But, you know, there's all kinds of ways to do that. Okay. Does that look okay? Oh, what I could put behind there is some book page. Where are my Hebrew pages? Or I could do music. This music is pretty too. Some of these have more notes on one side than the other. They just look more interesting. Let's do this. How about that? 1, 2, and then your one more is supposed to be a round shape. This is kind of a round shape. So maybe I don't need this label at all. No. I could put this label on the other side maybe. We'll see. There's 2. Plus 1 more. I want the glue. I want the wet glue here. And I do want to add just a dab of ink so it stands out from the back. Oh yes, so I'm trying to really commit to my reminding everyone to hit like. If you are still holding out as a subscriber, kindly hit the subscribe button because I would really like to know you're actually there. And comment below and then share the channel. Because as we know, To share is to care. Wait, I was gonna do the straight edge on that side. To share is to care. To comment, I wish I could come up with a cute poem like to comment in the moment. I don't know. Not feeling particularly poetic today. But maybe I could come up with a poem for like, subscribe, and share. Show me that you care. Maybe that'll be it. That's my poem. That's my rhyme. I don't want that to wrinkle. There you go. Like, subscribe, and share, and show me that you care. That's kind of like 2 plus 1 more. Now this doesn't really work, does it? That's unfortunate. But I do like the butterfly, so we're gonna keep the butterfly. I keep losing that little pin to get these apart. Somehow having the pin just makes it, it's like you can't get it with your fingernail, but somehow just the tiny point of the pin makes it easier to get a hold of the edge. It is so weird. There's got to be some kind of psychology there. Here. They're not connected, but there's my 2 plus 1 more. And then on this side, I could do this, or... Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? And I had a tiny butterfly somewhere. And I have this tiny little plant, too. I was thinking of this butterfly here, the black and whites. So if it's on the page in your tuck spot, yeah, that would work, I think. I'm gonna darken up the edge just the tiniest bit. So really working on simplifying my style this year. And maybe I should have him coming up to it like that. I don't know, I better make up my mind though or it's gonna get ruined. I don't know, I just like them to fly away from their flowers more than fly to the flowers. I don't know why. It seems like maybe they've gotten their dinner and are flying away and they're free. I'm free, he says. This could use a word right here because now I have that gluey space. So let's grab a word really fast. Can you see this? I'd like it to not be too long because there's not a lot of space there. There's with brave wings she flies, but I'd rather be original. How about embrace the journey? It's like the little butterfly is going on a journey. Oh, and you know what? I bet I can find it back here in black. Here it is. I just think with the black butterfly and that black rose, I'm just gonna put the white one back here because I know it'll fit. With the black butterfly and the black rose, I just think that would look nicer together. There we go. And it's also not connected. Okay, there's that one. Oh yeah, see, and then, I mean, it won't show that way on the page, but there's that one. And then this one, I have these like lace sticker kind of things, and I thought maybe one of them would look good on there. There's also these banners. So they used to have these at the Dollar Tree, and I haven't seen them for a while. I'm guessing they stopped making them, but for a while there, I would buy up as many as I could in all the patterns that I could. But I was thinking I could run it along the top edge, but now that I'm looking at how we have that hole punched in it, maybe not. Would it look weird to have it right underneath? Oh, what if I just run it like down a side or something? So now all I have to do is find the one I want. Okay, that's a duplicate. Oh, and this one has a frame. I could put a frame on there. Wouldn't that look cool? I wonder if I can get it on there straight. What do you guys think? Has this one been opened? Oh, apparently. Apparently I opened it and didn't use anything. And then, oh, I just got an idea. I don't know if this will work. I'm going to put the frame down. I may or may not try to fill it right now with something. One thing about these, they're a little thick, but they do tear very easily. Isn't that the coolest thing? So now it's got the little outline of the square, and I was wondering, I have some stickers, but I think it might be better if I used something like this that has a little more structure to it and just let it overlap like that. Does that look weird? Are those blues okay? I'm needing a lot of validation today. This is kind of pretty though. It's not blue, but it because it is so light, it does look nice with that. Oh, I like that. I like that better than blue. Blue on blue, can't have heartache on heartache. Okay, let's glue that on there. That looks pretty. So you can use scrapbook papers or book pages or music or just scraps of whatever. Make yourself some of these little pockets. You can use the digitals. I've lost my little rag I was pressing with. You know, you can use digitals if you enjoy using digitals. That works. It's so subtle. I like it because it kind of breaks up the pattern, but it doesn't compete. On this side, though, I could run one of these ribbons down it. I like that. I feel like it needs something more, but if it's sitting on a page, let's pretend like that's a journal page. I might like put a little scrap or something there that you could write on. Maybe. Here's how that's gonna look, and maybe it does need another word or something up there, but again, you don't really know until you want to put it in the journal. Okay, and then this one, last but not least, hurrying. Obviously, it needs some florals. If I had Tim Holtz people, this would be the perfect spot for one, but I don't. But I have some really pretty, isn't that gorgeous? They're so see-through, this one, that they don't always show up. And since I have a thing there, I might just leave that blank or plain and put this over here to dress up this page. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And I had a label somewhere. I had labels sitting out. Where are you? Oh, yes. And I totally forgot to use any of these focal points that I got out. Well, that's ridiculous. I was having so much fun with the butterflies. I wonder. She's kind of black and white. She would be pretty, wouldn't she? On this black and white. I mean, I need to trim it down a little bit, but she would be pretty. Where's my black label? Where did I put them? I have little black labels and I would like one, but I'm not gonna find it right now. Okay, so I'm going to, there's a very faint edge here that I don't know if you can see it. Very faint edge on the printable. So I'm gonna cut with my decal edge scissors right along that, so I know that it is straight. And then I'm going to ink that up so it has a little definition. Oops. This is one of Mrs. Cogg's printables. I think it was the Tea Time. I still have quite a few left from when I did my blue journal, the blue China journal last year. Let's do Grounded. This would be a great place to use the illustration of Grounded. So let's find a strip of paper like this one. Does she have the colors? I felt like that blue might work. It's not quite, but I like the prettiness of it. Oh. It's interesting how when you put things on different backgrounds, they just show up better. So we didn't practice any of our tag templates from last time, but you know, you could. That was going to be the whole point of my demonstration, is that you could. Wonder. What if I wrapped that around? Oh, that's the side with the hinge. Okay, so I would have to this way instead. Wrap that around so she is now grounded, and then I could still give her a little pretty little flower. Yep, so next time we're going to work on some more of her Kathleen's tag templates and how to arrange different items. Okay, so let's, actually it's going to be grounded on both sides because it's going to have the strip on both sides, so that's pretty handy, isn't it? Well, I am really liking this. You know, another idea too, you could punch this like with one of your edge punches, a lace punch or one of the decorative edges, and then when you lay it on the page, it would just add a little something pretty. So I might do that after we go off camera because I don't have any lace or edge punches here on my table at the moment, and I don't want to go chasing after it. But wouldn't that look cool? That is a really good idea I'm having. You know, she just doesn't have enough yellow. I wish she did, because that's a really pretty sticker. But no. Okay, before I commit to that one I picked out, which is now vanished. Oh, there it is. I have some smaller ones. I'm just wondering if any of them would work, because it's really important to just keep drawing out this video as long as possible. Ooh, that would work. Ooh. Because there's kind of the blue and the blue and the gold and the gold. That was worth the checking. Worth checking out. Okay. Well, I hope you stayed till the end of the show, folks, because this is when the fireworks happened. This is the finale, the grand finale. We used to, when I was in choir, I was in jazz choir, and my teacher, our choir director, he would always talk about you close with a barn burner. In other words, you make sure that your best song and the one you're going to showcase the best is your last song, and that's your barn burner, because you want them to remember you when you go off stage. Oh, that's pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, where'd that one go? That's not it, that's not it, that's not it. Oh, there it is. So if you're looking for these stickers, just try to not get the acetate ones. Make sure that you say like floral stickers, washi, or whatever, but really just read your descriptions, because I have a feeling I did ask for washi stickers, and some of these that I got were not. So they're either called vellum or washi stickers, so like washi tape. But now I have the privilege of using them all up. Yeah, I'm just on a real use up my stash kick right now, so it's kind of fun though. Got plenty of ways to do it. And then, you know, that box of scraps that I came back with, it had a huge bunch of scraps and other supplies that when we went in October over to visit our kids in Vancouver. My son-in-law's mom was cleaning out a bunch of her craft supplies, and so she had put a bunch of things in a box for me, and I brought that back. Well, I've been slowly using them up on a lot of these different projects, but I finally got the rest of that box emptied out and organized. A lot of it was mostly paper scraps, and I had trimmed a bunch of them down so that they were usable. And then I might do a gold sticker here. Anyway, I finally got them all organized and completely put away in their color codes, and then I took a bunch out so I could use them for these projects, the ones that are more vintage or botanical looking. I can either do a small one right here, but I was thinking a bigger one there, and the one that I'm seeing is Grace. It's just kind of floating around up there. Maybe I should bring it down here. I'll let it overlap right there. There, now we're still grounded. Grounded but overlapping. There we go, Grace. And that could be her name too. She's Grace. There we go. Nice. Wow, got more stuff to put away again. That's the thing, every time I do one of these, I have stuff to put away at the end. Be tidy. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Everything's tidy and out of the way. So what did we do today? Well, we made hinged pockets that can kind of float around in your journals, or you can just glue them down. I really think gluing them in place is your better option, personally. And we made a bunch of those, bunches, but then we also decorated a few. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, Our Lady Named Grace. Actually, I want to, sorry, I'm always arranging the shot in my mind, but I'm trying lately to be better about taking a good picture for the thumbnail, you know. So when you see my video pop up, it has a nicer picture. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we made quite a lot. So how many did we make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I was a little slower on the decorating piece of that, but we decorated 4. So that's a pretty good ratio, I think. And more importantly, we have some usable pieces that will make our journals look pretty. I'm gonna put that on top, there we go. Yeah. So that's what we did today. These are the hinged pockets, or I think she called them a flip floating hinged pocket thing. Oh, I just saw my black labels. There they are, found them. So that's what they're called, and it's week 4 of Roxy's weekly challenge for 2023. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I want to thank you in advance for all the thumbs up, likes, and shares. And I'm going to show you these 3 as well that I made off camera, but you know, now I've got quite a few, so that gives me some options when I'm making journals. All right, our quote for the day. Okay, I'm going to kind of piggyback off our little butterfly theme because we have our butterflies, and I had the one that I wanted it to be embracing the journey on this side. Okay, so in keeping with the journey theme and moving forward, the great thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. That's from Oliver Wendell Holmes. So let's figure out what direction we're moving in and keep going. Enjoy the journey on your way there. So that's our clever quote for the day. I hope you guys are looking forward to a fantastic weekend. This video is already way too long, so it's going to be fun to edit. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.